There we are.
Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Host Talking to Famous People. This is my beautiful girlfriend, Rachel.
Hi.
And together, we are broadcasting another exciting episode of Talking with Famous People, the internet television program that's not really a television program. Anyhow, today we're talking about converting the objective to the subjective, or the subjective to the objective. It occurred to me when I was lying in bed the other day, yesterday or something, that your interface functions, basically, the locus of attention is on an external field, or both external fields, but the interface aspect of it is that it is converting, either in the case of FE, other people's subjective experience into objective data that you can then use conditional thinking about, or it's converting your own subjective data into external objective outcomes with converting FI into TE. TE converts FI into reality, or makes FI become a reality, or whatever you want to say like that. So it seems to me that probably that's the best way of describing the interface functions that I've not used before, is that it's, on the one hand, it's FE converting other people's subjective experiences and subjective data into objects that you can analyze and think about. And on the TE side, it's converting your own subjective desires into something that can be objectively realized in the physical, external metaphysical, in the external physical field. My spouse had my locus of attention, so I had to smack it in her face.
No, email back with the puns. I
That's
remember
a
when
good one.
That is.
That's a good one, email that, in fact. You get 5 points for that one.
Hey, Winston's mom.
That's clever. Yeah, we did. We went to the Gonzo Gardens. We took some pictures. We walked around.
Yeah, it was great.
It's this little nature center. It still costs $15 a piece to get in. That's just Los Angeles, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was about as non-indulgent an outing as one could imagine, really, but it still costs $30.
Yeah.
And we had quite a nice walk in Gonzo Gardens. And we walked to the perimeter of it and discovered this odd sign that said Descanso Motorway.
So cool.
And looked it up on the internet. It turns out it's a hiking and mountain biking trail. No, we didn't write a book. We didn't do any blogging. Just took some still photos, chatted.
Yeah.
Enjoyed each other's company.
I'll post on Instagram probably tomorrow. Because we took some nice pictures.
I showed Rachel the famous spot, the famous story of where Delilah fell off the bridge into the little river.
Oh my gosh!
When I tell the story, people probably imagine there's some sort of big dramatic fall from a bridge into a river, right? But when you see it, you realize it's like 2 feet from this little like Japanesey style bridge into this teeny little stream, right? But regardless. It's a story that is memorable to me because Delilah liked me to retell her the story when she was a little kid.
Aww.
And she'd go to bed, I'd tell her the story, different stories, and sometimes she'd ask for me to tell again the story of the bridge and stuff. So I'd always ham it up when I'd tell her the story, say like, and then Delilah was standing on the edge of the bridge, and she said, whoa, 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 and she fell into the stream. And Delilah would laugh and laugh,
Aww.
I'm sure when you heard that story before, Rachel, you must have pictured a bigger bridge and stream, right?
I saw like a baby going head first. I did not know.
She was like 2 years old.
Aww, how cute. How cute. I just picture a cute little girl falling into a pond.
Old
I
enough.
can't help but think just that.
Old enough to walk on around, young enough to sometimes sit in a stroller. At that age.
So that's totally a woof 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 moment.
I don't think in actuality she went whoa whoa whoa. That's just
I
something I
think
added
she-
in the storytelling for Delilah.
No, she was just being an ESTP.
Yeah, she was exploring the bridge, doing her thing.
Yeah, definitely. She could even have been like mesmerized by the pond and the water, That's an SE thing. And then, boom, go into the water.
You will make music and become a star. You hear that, everybody? Cloud's gonna be a star. Can we get your autograph, Cloud?
Will you change your name to Star?
Star Cloud. You should call yourself Star Cloud.
Star
I
Cloud.
think it's a great name for your artist.
The next generation. The issue with most metaphysical subjects is they aren't taken serious because SI bias.
Well, that's one reason. Another reason is TE bias that tends to collapse everything down into concrete, measurable outcomes. Yeah, it works so great for me. I make so much money on music.
Hey, Levi Samuels.
I make like millions of dollars a year on
Yeah.
music. I don't make shit on music. I never have.
It's unfortunate because you have talent.
Succeeding in the industry in Serbia will be a piece of cake. Talent is a rarity there. Do you play any instruments, Cloud? Anytime my daughter was near water, she dropped her phone into it. I think she was an ESTP, and even the toilets managed to grab her phone and pull it into the water. Well, hi Levi. Fan Eagles. Cool. Glad to hear it, Cloud. You finished music school, huh?
I play some guitar too, Cloud.
Ransom plays around on the guitar.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is a fun
Sometimes I get
instrument.
into it a little.
You got good rhythm. That's the most important thing anyway, Rachel.
Thanks.
Well, hello there, Trouble.
Oh, hello there.
How are you doing this evening?
Are you admiring our kitty? It's okay.
You guys want to see Trouble? If I can show you him without scaring him away,
I think you can. He's just admiring. He's like in love with BB. I mean, how can you not be? But he's a handsome fellow too.
Oh, just like that.
Upside down, yeah. There we go.
I can't quite show him. The cord's not quite long enough. It's like he just passed the right side of the door there. You can't quite see him.
Maybe
Anyway.
if he comes around.
Yeah, it's too much work to try to fix that cord length problem.
He's a very handsome cat.
There's TEFE bias everywhere because they tend to be in positions of strong influence. Well, they like to interface, When you're interfacing, it means you're engaging with dynamic systems in ways that change the reality such that it's disruptive to people who are engaged in static system thinking, They have an inherent advantage, but their disadvantage is that they're wrong,
Damn.
Cloud, demons are of our own making, okay?
It's the truth. I'm Mr. Blue Sky.
You gotta give ahead to get ahead? I've never heard that expression before, email.
Yeah, I have. I've heard that. You're getting it. Get it. That's a email to Anthraxic. I saw this movie about like Fox News, like one of the like CEOs of the company or like producer types, and yeah, like a lot of the girls had to give head to get ahead, if you know what I mean, because I just said it.
And what business was that?
Fox.
Oh, Fox News.
Yeah, Fox News. Mm-hmm.
What an awful, awful workplace culture.
Yep.
Did I see the CDC admit how COVID is exaggerated? No, I didn't.
It's called bombshell, yes. Broccoli salad is right.
I mean, what can I say about this stuff? It drives me insane. There was a woman at Descanso Gardens who had a shirt on that said, "That's not 6 feet." I was just like,
why are you even there then?
It made me realize that even if you win the narrative, on template 48, that is not how Rachel is with me. Okay, look. There is a reality that when a woman feels like she really trusts the other person, that she can relax and let herself go a little bit more.
You know, I want to say totally, like, I feel like I'm very feminine. And sometimes, like, I'm overtly, like, feminine. Like, I don't really, like, hide it. And you're, like, definitely male. Like, I felt like you're definitely, like, the malest male I've ever been with. So, it's a nice yin and yang compliment, I have to say. But he's definitely a touch with the softer side, I think.
I mean, the thing is,
maturity.
I've seen Rachel and I both, sort of relax into our respective sexual roles, I guess, and be more comfortable in them as we trust each other more.
Oh yeah.
That's ultimately the primary factor in that whole thing, in my opinion.
Totally.
I think it's probably true for. What I mean is, you want your woman to have a genuine and natural enthusiasm rather than feel as though she's putting on a show.
Ugh.
Right? That's what I want anyway.
Right?
So, that happens when she trusts you not to abuse the vulnerability.
Totally. Wise words. Seriously.
I think the personification of ad hominem is a man actually hitting another man in the face. Well, Eric Moore, I'm not. Viewer Sergi here with host of Watching with Sergi. Wow. See, I like that boldness.
Mm-hmm.
Lawnmower wants a woman who's going to wipe his butt after he poos. That's a strange thing to want. Rachel, I think host Eric's very masculine man, comfortable around women. His mother gave him that, and he appears to delight in our feminine wiles, wit, and charms. I do like women. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked to hang out with my mom and her English teacher friends and listen to them talk to each other about, like, I guess, woman stuff, They didn't talk about, like, makeup and stuff like that. They talked about, like, gossipy stuff that I thought was interesting. FE stuff, I guess.
He's enamored with Pee-Pee. Because she's like, his supervisor type. She's like, whatever. I'm gonna sit on this chair and be a cinnamon bun for a little while.
My mom was an ISFJ, so a lot of times I'd be listening to her more extroverted English teacher friends talk. I just found the liveliness of the chat. There's probably intuitives in the mix, My mom in the ISTP was not the biggest talker in her group. She'd have the English teachers over for white wine on like a Friday afternoon or something, and I would be allowed to stay and hang out there and listen. But they also, I'd be told not to. If I started talking too much, I'd be told not to. You know.
That's trouble.
You can see him a little bit there next to the trash can with the white face.
Thank you. Thank you, Trouble.
It's trouble. Oops. There. So, we've been watching Avatar. It's been pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it's
right.
really good.
I forgot. I want to go back to my central thesis on this thing, which is that the interface functions are ways of converting objective to subjective. So TI, it wants to deal with objective data. FE is how you convert other people's FI into objects of analysis that TI can deal with. FI has subjective data, but it needs to manifest what it wants into reality, right? So that's what TE does. It converts the subjective into the objective. So, when asked what exactly do the interface functions do, I think that's the best way of putting it is FE looks to both external fields and draws subjective data from them. Namely, it'll draw from your words if you talk about subjective things. Like, I feel sad because Molly said I was fat today or something. If somebody says that, you're dealing with subjective data that's in the verbal realm, that's external metaphysical field, but you're also dealing with her facial expressions, gestures, and other things. So if when she says that she has a big smile on her face and looks really happy and like mischievous, you're going to doubt her words regardless, right? So in that regard, FE is picking up data from both fields, external, and is converting it into metaphysical objects on the internal field. That's what FE is doing. Now, whether it's converting it into universal objects or experiential objects, that depends on whether it's paired with SI or NI. So FE is taking this external data, like the people's words, plus their tone, facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues, right? And it's converting it into either NI truths about that person and their identity, or SI truths about your experience. If bacon, tomato, sausage are puppets, it's okay to eat the sandwich. Well said. Well said. Dynamite is filled with pedo symbolism? What? Cloud, you say some of the craziest things I've ever heard.
I never heard that before.
Where we're up to? So they just invaded the Fire Nation, but the Fire Nation knew they were coming, and it's like all the invading force got captured except for the kids who got away.
Because they were basically like told, you guys are our last hope, like please just go.
What is BTS?
BTS is that South Korean boy band. I don't like their music at all. They make like 8-minute videos though, so it's a lot of FI.
So Eric says, Octavia, so why INFJ and not ESFJ for Katara? Doesn't seem that extroverted. Is constantly delivering NI to resolve things for her NI polar brother. She's not NI polar like her brother. You can see the distinction in the NI and the SI between the two of them.
Yeah.
And she also has beta quadra eyes, if you want to take that into consideration.
Yeah, she's a mature young lady.
Cloud, what you're doing right there is so bitter and negative. What you're saying there, right? Like, to be honest with you, I am really disgusted by you as a person. Such bitterness and negativity. I think this world would be better without you. I mean, you couldn't be more bitter and negative, right? In your comment.
Right, that's totally T.I. polar.
Sausage, tomato, bacon, tomato. What are beta quadra eyes? They're like Rachel's eyes.
Mine.
Or like Katara's eyes in Avatar.
Yeah, they're like...
Hello, Queen of Vegas. I'm
like,
glad we finally have a queen in Vegas. I was afraid that it would forever be without royalty.
Which one? There's a lot of Queens of Vegas's, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to say, of course, bring it back to my eyes.
They're
yeah,
like that.
see?
They're like that.
Yeah.
Instead of there being like a space between my eyelid and my eyeball, instead of that, it's the other way. They poke out something. They go,
yeah.
You know? They're very popular to cast in movies. Girls with beta quadra eyes.
Yeah.
A lot of NFJs get cast in movies. We've been watching a lot of movies with NFJ leading ladies, but it's mostly ladies get cast. Generally not dudes. So, and in the cartoon as well, it's like Katara's got textbook beta quadra eyes. She's pretty textbook INFJ, I think.
I think so too. What do you think? She's a 4?
I mean, she's probably a 3.
3? Yeah, she's success driven.
Yeah.
That's a rarity too.
Yeah. Well, there aren't a lot of 7 INFJs, but you're one, so.
Yeah.
No problem, Lawnmower. That message was inappropriate.
I think she's an INFJ as well, I gotta say.
I think Sokka's an ESTJ.
I think the more we watch it, the more I do too.
He's an ESTJ. He's
great.
Anti-polar. So
Love
he's always...
character.
What's one of his textbook things? Well, that's as bad as it can get, and then it starts raining. You know, it's like all the time, right? He's as anti-polar as he can get. Can you give me 5 examples of beta quadra eyes and get some data you gave 2 so far?
She's not ESFJ. Trust.
So, who's the lady who are some INFJ ladies we've seen in movies recently?
Well, I think that Marianne Cotillard is like a great example. Marianne, she's
Marianne
from...
Cotillard.
Yeah.
There's the lady who is that the lady who was in Community?
No.
What's that lady's name?
The one who plays the blonde?
The
one who plays the INFJ?
Yeah.
Britta from Community.
Britta from Community.
Yeah, she is.
She's got INFJ eyes.
Yeah, she plays an INFJ in the show Love too.
Well, you know, what's her name? Johansson. Scarlett
Johansson.
Scarlett
She's an
Johansson.
ENFJ.
She's got beta quadra eyes.
Yeah, she's got beta quadra.
They're not quite as pronounced as they are in some other actresses, but definitely beta quadra.
Yeah.
I think she's an ENFJ as well.
Inception, yeah, Marianne Cotillard.
Marianne Cotillard from Inception is a perfect example. That's
who I'm
Inception.
talking
Okay,
about.
Yeah. She's got super beta quadra eyes.
Oh yeah, and then
Liv Tyler, Lord of the Rings, has NFJ eyes. I actually think she might have STP eyes, but they're similar looking.
I think she does have STP.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but her eyes remind me more of Delilah's eyes.
Yeah.
Which are a similar kind of eye. It's still beta quadra.
Still
beta quadra.
like almond shape.
But there's some difference in the beta quadra eyes.
Yeah.
So, like they're least pronounced in ISTPs.
Yeah.
So what type is Zuko? Okay, well, I think he could be he could be an ISFJ even that's been like really messed up. He seems pretty FI, but I don't know. He's an odd character. His sister ENTJ.
Oh my gosh, such a good villainous ENTJ. Like, you guys were really right on that one. Like,
I was playing with the idea of INTP, by the way, for Zuko, interestingly. Even though he's not done anything particularly INTP or smart.
I thought so too!
He's like an INTJ. INTP has been forced into a weird life that's totally contrary to his nature or something.
Yeah.
ISTJ is a possibility too, Queen of Vegas. I'm not sure about him.
ISTJ, maybe.
I'm just not sure about Zuko.
He's-
I will
he's-
follow Octavia Silva's
gotta-
advice and wait until the series is over.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel too. And like, Katara, the only scene where Katara could possibly be an ESFJ is when she's like to Toth, hey, how come you're not like putting in your weight? Like, how come you're not like gathering like berries for us to eat or doing whatever? And Toth's like, excuse me, I don't do that ish. That's it. That's the only scene where you could possibly even think that she was an ESFJ, but it's because she's a 3.
Me and my woman yada yada, but then I realized hifta pifta in order for us to reach a point where we now this and that comfortably. Is that what you want me to say?
Can we kiss?
I think Toph's an ISTP. That's what
Me
I have her
too.
typed
I do
as.
too. She's a great ISTP.
Because her 4th slot FE is so 4th slot.
Yeah.
You know?
The 30 feet.
Just, and her when she finally, I guess this was sort of 8th slot FI more than 7th, when she finally realized she's sad for her parents. Although that could be 7th. That could be 7th.
What? And she'd be what?
ESTP. Toph. ESTP or
She
ISTP?
could.
That's the question. Is which is she? ISTP or ESTP? I have her typed as ISTP.
I think she's an ISTP too.
But I could see the argument for ESTP.
Yeah, definitely.
Iroh?
I think.
Who's Iroh? I don't know who Iroh is. I don't remember Iroh. I don't remember their names
Is that
necessarily.
the mom of Zuko and Zula?
Okay, so everybody seems to agree that Toph is...
Oh, Uncle.
Uncle, okay.
Oh, ENFJ? Possibly.
Yeah, ESFJ, I think.
ESFJ?
Almost. Because well,
'Cause
otherwise,
his
why is he so obsessed with tea?
Oh my gosh, that's definitely it. His tea shop.
And
You're so right.
And he thinks his nephew is defined by his past.
Yeah.
He
true.
doesn't
That
think
is
he doesn't.
true. He
He
doesn't
doesn't
really move.
whereas Azula is constantly just disregarding and countervaluing and thinking about the past as totally meaningless, right?
Mm-hmm.
SI polar. She's ENTJ.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just think of him as Uncle. I don't think of him as Iroh.
Me neither.
I don't know. Maybe I
He's a
didn't
great
call him that.
character.
Right now. I guess they do call him that sometimes.
I think of him
Iroh's
as
an
the
INFP?
uncle too. I don't think of him as.
I am quite confident that Iroh is FE. He is not FI because he's too smooth with manipulating everybody with FE shit, right?
With FE shit, he was so happy making tea. He actually integrated himself into like the Earth people's like land. Remember, he was like more than happy, even though he's a firebender.
Well, I mean, he just seems to have good FE sense with everybody he encounters. He's polite where it's appropriate. He fools people by sort of acting like meow and taking advantage of their misconceptions, stuff like that.
Oh.
That's like countervalued. Works the same way as any other 6-slot function. But what I'm talking about in
You like it?
Azula is polar. Polar is countervalued in a kind of an aggressive way, explicitly, externally, but internally you kind of value it. But you don't like other people to value it. You don't value it in other people at all.
Yes, kitty pageantry.
Angantyr says Uncle feels very ENFP. You know, that's not impossible. ENFPs have pretty good FE for 6-slot demonstrative. It's not like ESFP 6-slot FE, which tends to be not very broadly appealing to intuitives, anyway. Maybe it is to sensors, I'm not sure. I know that's so sad, Email Anthrax. Oh my God, was
What?
that so sad?
What?
The Miyagi moment when he's up on the hill
Oh, I know,
with
we
his sons.
both-
Yeah, we were both bawling.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm gonna go with Octavia Silva there now that I hear that point. I haven't thought about him much, but I'm gonna go with ESFJ, I think, or ISFJ
For who?
possibly. Iro.
Who's Iro?
Uncle.
Uncle. He's just the uncle.
See, he seems, he's an ISFJ with particularly good 8th slot NI, I would say.
So you think he's an ISFJ?
That's what I'm going to settle on, I think. I think,
Well, he
he's
does love tea.
He's an ISFJ with particularly good 8th slot NI. Yeah, that was very moving, Morridge. That scene where they're on the hilltops, what do you call it? It's referencing Miyagi. There's been I know what I wanted the title of this live stream to be. The Reverse Scooby Doo.
Yeah! I love you too. Thank you, Pee-Pee.
People might think it's some weird sex act, Oh, we did the Reverse Scooby Doo. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's in reference to a specific episode of Avatar where they do the Reverse Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
I had no idea, Octavia Silva. Octavia Silva says Iroh's voice actor died mid-production.
I'm so sorry to hear. That's so sad.
That's sad. What type is Mr. Miyagi? He's got to be an STJ of some sort. With all of his, just do what I say.
Miyagi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
True, he's got
do you guys know what the Reverse Scooby-Doo episode I'm talking about? It's the one where the kids pretend a ghost is there to scare away the fire soldiers, and break their factory and save the village from their toxic water.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, the P.
Wow, that is sad, Morridge. The saddest part is the uncle who played Uncle Iroh died after season 2. That was his last scene, the one on the hill. He had cancer.
Wow, what a great last scene.
Wow.
Wow. That was a great episode.
Rear Naked Scooby-Doo. Now just call it Reverse Scooby-Doo, okay? It's where the kids pretend to be a ghost to scare away the bad guys, rather than the bad guys pretending to be ghosts to scare away the kids. See?
First Scooby-Doo, don't you? It was like that. It was cleverly designed.
I've been noting kind of NI reference points in I don't think Katara's an EP, Octavia Silva. I think Katara's an INFJ. She's constantly using NI in sort of a dominant slot way. Remember the episode where they sit around trying to make jokes in the ESTJ brother's absence? Oh, my bad. I thought you were saying that Katara was some kind of EP, either ENTP, ESTP.
Oh, me too.
Well, she wasn't saying.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Where our minds are at.
Not everything's cognitive.
I was gonna be like, what? Octavia thinks that Katara is an EP? Come on, that's just starting a battle now.
Question mark.
Bubes.
You can't be INF Bubes unless you're my girlfriend. She's INF Bubes.
That's very.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't really know anything about her.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, I can't say.
I don't know either. I've been trying to study her actually a lot. She's an interesting character. There's a great body language video on YouTube about her. I would suggest you checking it out and looking it up.
I found the episode that
Billie
had
Eilish.
the number of different little shorts. I found that one to be actually quite good. You know? Remember that episode with the different shorts in it? Where
Oh, that was good.
Momo finds the buffalo.
Yeah,
the buffalo's
in the
footprint.
dream. Mm-hmm.
No, not in a dream. He finds the buffalo's footprint in the city.
Oh,
the
that's
one with the
right.
shorts.
Yeah.
That was very moving too.
I like that too. That was.
It was It was very sad. It was very sad. The way that Appa was gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that when he was gone. I was very happy when he got reunited.
Oh, I feel bad that we went to sleep and I didn't know. I'm sorry. I felt the same way.
Check out your reverse naked Scooby Doo in full missionary. Cloud. No, an INFJ is not worthless. What are you talking about? When have I ever suggested anything of the sort?
You never said that.
Quite to the contrary.
No. Yes.
My INFJ is worthful.
He's just a good man. Doesn't even matter what type. But I got a good one.
Yeah, it's a picture of a cactus flower I took one day. That's a picture of Mount Shasta from the road. With the truck to add a little color to the scene. Here we see downtown Sacramento and the old California Steam Navigation Co. Steamer for San Francisco. Yeah, it's a part of California's gold.
That's the California Aqueduct.
Here's the California Aqueduct. Another picture we took one day. We went to Quartz Hill to pick up pieces of quartz. And that's Rachel standing in front of the Santa Anita Racetrack, historic monument here in Arcadia, California. That's my tour guide voice. This picture was taken in the Miniature Time Machine Museum of Miniatures, one of the most cumbersomely titled museums in all of Arizona. Life is a highway.
All night long.
I'll probably get like one of those copyright things. Cover, you know. Just for singing it. How could I not sing that, right?
Yeah, right? It was coming.
I've got my elbow band instead of a wristband. Round my elbow it goes. Yeah, my elbow band, exciting and new, funner than all of those hoes. My elbow band.
That's not where I was expecting it to go. I like that though.
Oh.
You are the Riddler.
Oh, email Anthrax. We may need Cloud to explain things. No matter how much we may need him to explain things, though. I am afraid he will not explain things. Thanks. You're cute, too. You and INFPs are adorable together.
It's true.
You and Levi Samuels. Yeah. Octavio Silva and Levi Samuels make one of the most adorable couples I've ever seen. Oh my God. They are absolutely adorable.
Adorable.
Chris Chapman is a tree, clearly. It's a very small, delicious tree. Broccoli is probably my favorite vegetable. What can I say? Cupid's arrow flies from Cupid's bow. Whom it pricks, nobody know. That's what they say.
I never heard that before.
I just made it up.
Oh, my dandy man.
Thanks, darling. Thanks for appreciating my dandy talents.
I really do.
It's Yetzirah Mahale, the Mahale, the leader. 2034 is the date of the apocalypse. Whew. I got 14 years. So I have to think about that for another 14 years. Thank God.
So I'll be what, 40?
No,
I don't know how to do
No, you'll be
math.
50.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like... What if you have a lot of, like, good aspects in your chart from Jupiter?
Bad aliens are from Jupiter. Good aliens are from Saturn. Mars has no life. Mercury has no life. And I am Abraham. What about Neptune?
And honestly, Pluto is a planet. Let's just all settle that.
Yeah, I was humming it. But here's what I want to know. You haven't told us about Neptune, Uranus.
Hello.
You were
Uranus,
right.
Yeah.
You don't have all the answers, what your father does. Your father is at Zeluth. At Zeluth, and yet Zyray were at the Circle K the other day. Then at Zeluth, and yet Zyray said, hey, 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 hey. Mihail Abraham. Remember, I'm number 3. I'm number 3, okay. So, when during the rapture, is it like being in line at the butcher? if you don't respond when they call your number, you're shit out of luck. Is that how it works?
Neptune is the god of the ocean in Greek mythology.
Saturn is cold and melancholic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go to Saturn then.
Saturn, no, neither do
That
I.
sounds depressing.
It rains diamonds on Uranus.
It rains diamonds on Uranus. It does.
I believe so.
That's wonderful.
I believe. And I think on Neptune too.
Neptune means you have to pee soon. I already have to pee soon. I don't need any more of that. Oh,
Sonic
Kitty
came from
Wonder. Look, Kitty's at the racetrack with Rachel.
Oh, that's such a kitty face.
Kitty, what are you doing? What are you doing in the miniature time machine using your miniatures, Kitty?
You're so big.
Wait, is my moon sign Sagittarius? I don't know.
My moon sign is Sagittarius.
I don't know.
Yours is in Gemini.
I'll let you get around to it, but just so you know, let me guess, just so I know, I need to check my email. Is that what you're telling me, David Sanderson?
Oh, thank you.
I haven't checked it yet. So the good news is, it's not that I've checked it and ignored it. I actually haven't checked it. That's good.
Oh my God.
That means I might eventually check it still.
Oh, Queen Capio.
4 minds, 1 soul.
Huntress.
Not just 4 minds. 4 minds and 1 soul.
Huntress. Yeah.
Righteous. I'm 4 more minds away from another soul.
Oh,
you can convert 4 minds into 1 soul every Wednesday.
Yes, you kitty pageant winner.
At the Mind Soul 4 for 1 special. Yitzhak Mahel was gonna give us an example.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, thank you for the head push. Thank you.
Oh, what a wonderful kitty friend. So majestic and special. Good, true, and fine. So regal, so noble. Such a pageant-winning beast.
Such a pageant-winning beast. Yes.
Your INTJ ego and ENTP unconscious and ISFJ super ego, INTP soul. I see. Well, how lucky for you. What's it like being an unconscious ENTP? Is it pretty much like being in a coma? I see. Wow, that must explain why you're so addicted to metaphor. I know, so majestic, isn't she? Who is more majestic, Mount Shasta or the sight of Rachel petting Kitty Meow? It is, in fact, the latter.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I love you too.
What do you guess when you cross Santa Claus with a spaceship? A UFO, ho ho. Oh, my special pageant winning kitty friend.
Yes, that's Daddy.
You're exploring the Grand Canyon of Majesty.
Oh, yes, you are.
I feel ardentness in my affection for you.
Oh. I feel tickled.
Cloud, I am a 19-year-old that is using a supercomputer with special AI.
Ooh.
Congratulations. What makes it super? Is it susceptible to Krypton?
It's computer stress.
The beast of the apocalypse. You mean the AI is actually Satan?
Thank you, Pio. Keep your head pushed.
You have a skooma addiction? Very serious. What's skooma? I don't know. Sounds like a fun game. It's a cross between shuffleboard and water polo.
Cool. Yeah.
Underwater shuffleboard polo. Yeah, I agree, Lawnmower. I agree. It's pretty obvious to me too. Five, three, one.
Oh, beauty.
Oh, Cloud.
You wear the crown. And you get the roses. And you get the sash. Because you're
Well,
the kitty pageant winner.
Yetzirah Cloud is an INTJ.
You are.
Regular
Oh,
Cloud is an
thank
ESFP.
you.
Mahael Abraham, I just want to say that
Oh, thank you.
to you, that I appreciate how you help people. Thanks, Yetzirah Mahael. I am a humanitarian.
Yes, he is.
I'd like to think I'm a humanitarian.
Yes, you are.
I am a great man. Well, I don't find that to be a very meaningful sentence.
Well, you're a great boyfriend.
Thanks. That's a meaningful sentence, right? You can be a good boyfriend or a shitty boyfriend. I'm a good boyfriend.
He really is.
It's an extremely addictive imaginary drug from the video game Skyrim. There are tons of memes about being addicted to skooma. Never heard of it before. You endowed Cloud with NI using black magic. That's a poor use of your black magic. Can I just say that right now?
That's one way to find it.
How to find your face when you're looking for somebody else's face? That's always a difficult question to answer. Is a humanitarian a cross between a vegetarian and a cannibal? No. A humanitarian is a cross between a humanities professor and an agrarian. Half farmer, half.
Thank you, Levi Samuel.
In the ENFP blathering. You know? Can you tell me that it's not FE and TE DOMs? It goes through the motions, regardless of whether it needs to, is one aspect I would say about it. Again, I'm drawing from my own experience. I'm going to say this about my dad and sort of generalize at least to ESTJs, which is he will often say, I don't want to bore you. You know, I don't mean to bore you, or I won't bore you too much, but, and then proceed on with his story, regardless of what it is. So it's just sort of going through the motions of the disclaimer. The reality is, his things aren't boring us. And there's no reason for the disclaimer. But if it is boring us, the disclaimer doesn't change that reality, obviously. You know? So it's just sort of, it's irrelevant to him. He just feels the need to go through the FE motion, and then that's good enough.
Yeah.
this. The pageantry is like a bunch of... My father probably does need a hug. But, you know, he's not very receptive to that kind of thing. I've made those efforts before, and, I mean, it's hard. He's a hard man to, for me especially, to give to. He's my benefactor. I'm his beneficiary type, and he doesn't seem to understand the relationship in any other capacity except for that, really. You know?
Correct. I see you play it out like that.
Just grab him and don't let go until he attacks you or cries. I have, you know, hugged him sometime in the last 6 months or so.
That's nice.
But I should probably do it again.
I don't know how to approach that.
I appreciate your suggestion, email Anthrax. Yeah, I've seen my dad tear up once or twice.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it happens every once in a while. He's not a big crier like me. You know, you spend a day or two with me in a comfortable... Thank you, Horseman Boy. I appreciate your encouragement of fellow chatters. If you spend a few days with me, I'm always crying. You know, every time we watch something, practically, at some point in the show is going to make me cry. Yeah, good point, Chris Chapman. I mean, I do my best. I think high stack NI is trusting telltale signs quickly when those telltale signs are universalist anyway. It's not that it, like, for example, thanks for that, Chris Chapman. That's probably what I really want to hear more than anything else. You know?
I think that's what... Very accurate, honestly. Like... The efforts that you make don't go unnoticed, you know? Even if, like, you're really the one who comes up with the idea and then he makes another, like, date for it or something different for it, like, we accommodate to him. And I think he appreciates it, you know? And the dinners he likes too, you know? When we have, like, a set thing. You do a good job. That's just how the relationship is, you know? Like, I feel that way, like, towards PP, honestly. She benefits me a lot, and I'm like, you know, she's not gonna listen to me.
Madonna. Madonna makes me feel embarrassed.
Exactly. That makes me feel embarrassed too. Michael Jackson used to make me feel embarrassed. You know, early 90s, late 80s, Michael Jackson. I'd be like, oh. Like as a kid, I even knew, you know? I was like, this is just weird.
Can I talk about how Jade and Cloud use SC in your eyes? Well, it's SE because ideas are just there to provoke responses from people. They're not there to begin an argumentational chain or an ideational chain of some sort. So you'll notice there's almost never any step 3. in those in exchanges. Cloud will say something, I'll respond to it. He'll say something unrelated. He'll start a new chain. He's just there to start chains to provoke responses, which is a sort of workaround for ideational engagement. So that's what makes it SE. The ideas are not there to engage on their merits as ideas, or even on their how you feel about them as ideas. They're there to provoke response in the other person.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, to convert metaphysical bullets into something that's much more similar to physical world action and response.
Yeah.
Well, so Cloud, jumping from topic to topic is NE, but you're not, to a certain extent, sure. But the thing is, this is part of an extended topic here, but every time I respond to something you say, you don't follow up by going, okay, well, this makes sense, or this doesn't make sense, or whatever. You're just there to provoke response. You provoked a response with your first thing, so now it doesn't matter what I say in response. You succeeded. Hey, look, I can kick the anthill, the ant moves.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it doesn't matter what I say, you just say something else provocative. That's why it's SE. It's about kicking the anthill. It's not about engaging actually on the metaphysical external plane. Now, because there's all these other people here, and I'm engaging with multiple people at once, I'm still happily able to work with you in some regard, right? Like, I can handle that because I don't have just you to engage with. Okay, you're not obsessed with ideas at all because you don't follow up on anything I say. You just negate things I say, and you just make bald statements that are unsubstantiated, right? So that's you are obsessed in this context with kicking this anthill and seeing the ants move at the moment, and you're obsessed with it so much that if in fact people aren't responding in ways you want when you're being provocative, then you say you guys are being boring. Because we're actually talking about ideas instead of just being provoked, right? Like I said, I do a good job, I think, of managing to convey actual information about ideas instead of just being provoked or in the process of being provoked and trying to tie things back in together. But, sometimes you get the better of it and are more provocative than... No, you're not, Cloud. You're not talking about ideas. You're saying provocative things about ideas. That's different. But that's the difference. That is the difference, Cloud. You are playing with people, not ideas. That's the difference.
What slot is any for ESFP?
What slot is what? NE? 8. But he's super... It's within the frame of going physical. Metaphysical. Fourth slot NI is first incorporation of conscious metaphysicality. So... Yeah, okay, but I do tend to respond to your questions, or try to respond to your questions, Octavio Silva. He's not bored when I'm not responding to his questions. He's bored when I am actually responding to questions, and not just going, but Cloud! That's what bores him. He wants an idea, a person to be provoked, rather than to engage about ideas. He even says here, what's the difference between people and ideas? People are literally just a bunch of ideas. No, they're not.
I'm glad I'm not just an idea.
So, in this instance, you both demonstrate what I'm saying. Well, I guess in this case, you are sort of responsive to something I said. But you're, again, just trying to break down stuff into mush. Remembering that extroverted intuition is a form of attentional manner. It's a way of paying attention. Extroverted intuition is a way of paying attention where the locus of attention is the external metaphysical field. Which means, and the direction of information is putting. So it's like taking action on the external metaphysical field.
I have a question for the chat.
What's your question for the chat?
So Frank James made a news report stating that pumpkin spice lattes are now at Starbucks. Like, they're currently serving that at Starbucks. Who else here thinks it's a little bit too early for pumpkin spice lattes?
I think it's a little early.
It really is. Oh, elbow hurting?
Yeah, I got my little bit of elbow pain I get sometimes.
Sorry.
Living in Seattle, I see many clouds pass over my home. Sometimes I wonder which one is provoking this chat. That's a nice cloud joke, Oliver Linehand. Simple concept, well executed though.
It's a gimmick? I don't think it's a gimmick.
Oh, you mean the pumpkin spice?
Yeah, I don't think it's a gimmick at all. I think that they legit are like, we're trying to make the world happy because COVID-19 is making people miserable, and what boosts sales is pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, they know people love that ish. Tomorrow's September, so, but I do think it's too early. Let me enjoy summer still.
I mean, I don't buy into the idea of a union collective unconscious. It suggests that just because, I mean, I don't dispute that there's some sort of architectural aspect to cognition that incorporates identities and considers them, some identities are so fundamental to being that they're going to be sort of parallelly manifest in multiple cultures, but that's not the same thing. Cloud, I'm putting you in timeout. You're getting too nasty. Do people tend to enjoy being tested on their dominant function? Well, it's not always easy to test the dominant function. If your dominant function is FI, I don't know what the answer to that is, because I don't have a good solid test for FI. I don't know what that test would look like. I guess it would be like, tell me about your feelings, But for any DOMs, yes, any DOMs love being tested on their dominant function. I suspect SE DOMs do as well. And I think the best sort of test for that would be something like a scavenger hunt.
Could you do me a favor?
Rather than like sports or something. Yeah, what do you want?
The poker.
Oh, poker.
Thank you.
Here you go, little Miss Poker. The streams are nice reprieve from the constant unrefreshed SI rumination caused by the COVID lockdown. Yeah, well, we went out and made some new memories today with the Scout,
did.
So
we always make memories.
But being an SI conscious type, I share with her SI stuff from my own life, which she may or may not actually like, but she's nice and effy about it regardless.
Are you kidding? I like it.
I took her by and showed her the frisbee golf course that I used to play frisbee golf at a lot. The first frisbee golf course in the world was
That's so fucking cool.
Was my justification for it. That makes it more of a landmark, you see.
It is a landmark. I heard about frisbee golf when I was in North Carolina. That was like 10 years ago. And I feel like that's pretty cool that I was at the spot where it was invented. It's
what
really
type
cool.
is the woman? She's an INFJ. The woman. You're the woman.
Thank you for identifying me.
I love that name. I've never heard before.
Rolf.
Of course, officially it's called disc golf. If you want to be all official about it.
Email the Anthrax is right. I am.
But I went through a big disc golf phase where I played a lot.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, INFJ with the ENTP is perfect. And we get along really, really well and easily.
We do.
There's no conflict. Ooh, yeah, INTJ dating an INFJ. That doesn't really work. INTJ with ENFP,
I
I
agree.
agree. Better fit.
Yeah, I've been in that relationship myself. INTJ, INFJ.
I missed it, horse
It's
mumbler.
better for friendship.
I missed it. Sorry. You know. I got about 10 chats on this thing. And sometimes I have to discipline myself to not look at the chat. Because I know if I look at it when I'm in the middle of pontificating about something, I'll forget what I'm saying midway through and go, lost the train of thought. Excitation and inhibition are applied differently for introverts and extroverts. Why don't you spread your K while I extend my ass?
That's sort of true. Yetziraya, Mahel. It's sort of true. But the INTJ is not very likely to take the INFJ's NI advice, and it's really, really difficult, man. So, why don't you just go find an ENFP is always my response.
Horse mumbler, I just don't think my dad would take him. I could be wrong, but
No, I'm not gonna be more formal. You be more formal.
What does 8 slot FI look like? I think it's... I don't know who he's talking to. I don't think he's talking to you.
Cool. Cause like...
I don't think he's talking to you. I think he's talking to maybe Lawnmower, or I don't know.
Because if we want to go into the Victorian era...
INFJ, ENTP, ISFJ, ESTP are the closest things to duals there are. I don't think any of the other possible combinations are as compatible. You know, you might be right about that. I've never been in a relationship that's compatible before.
Me neither.
It doesn't seem as though I've seen a lot of this kind of golden relationship.
I feel very lucky. I really do. I told Eric that not only like do I love him, but I have a best friend in him too. And that is huge.
But she's aware of the fact that saying that's super gaff.
I am.
So that proves that it's true.
Yeah, I totally know it's super gaff. I don't usually say stuff like that.
My ISTP dad's FI looks like this. He tries very hard to confront people who are in distress, and then says all the wrong things and makes things worse. Well, I think that's more his 4th slot FE than his 8th slot FI. 8th slot FI is taking a month before he realizes he misses somebody, and then being in a funk about it for 2 days. So it's like the episode of where Toph finally realizes she misses her parents, except she'd be like depressed about it for 2 days or something.
Yeah.
Unlike ENTP, who would just get over it in like 15 minutes. It's similar timetable though, you know.
Winston's mom, you're giving me like memories. I at my grandma McCurgan's house in Yonkers used to go through my aunt's closets, and a lot of them went to like proms in the like early 60s and like into the late 80s, so there was all these like big like fluffy gowns and stuff, and we would play in them, and it was really fun.
What?
But I don't have any currently right now. I have a lot of like cute dresses, but
Cloud thus far, lawnmowers insults haven't crossed the line. Yours have, so that's the difference. 6 slot FI is a nice combination of being depressed about the same thing for a few days to a week, for months, or refusing to do anything about it. That sounds like probably something Rachel would feel.
depressed.
I mean, did you find did you find this sort of descriptive of some of your New York time?
6 slot FI is a nice combination of being depressed about the same thing for a few days a week for months, but refusing to do anything about it, in my experience anyway. I felt trapped. I felt like I really I mean, like, I felt like I was fighting every day. It sucked. So I don't know if that answers anything.
Okay, well, directness is not always strength, Cloud. Sometimes it's better to be subtextually nuanced. Okay? You know, you don't have to be a sourpuss or a provocapus all the time.
Well, to give you an example of my FI, like on a scale of maybe for something you could people may get a handle on. So like, I during the uncle episode was like tearing up, and so that'll give you a perspective, I guess. That worked on me, but I don't cry. It takes. I sometimes have to. It Okay, so my dad gets to my FI. My dad, he like sent me this link on a YouTube, and it was about this like trip to see where Rachel in Hebrew stuff, like her tomb, and I was like, why did you send me this? I'm so I'm like, oh my god, my feels. But so he pulled out the feels in that video. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was also like, why is it like guarded so much? It's not easy to get to.
Stop guarding my garden.
Yeah, and they say that hundreds of people try to flock to it every day, but it's guarded by this huge, like, almost, it looks like a dam, like, but it wasn't like this. It has 2 lanes, one in, one out, to go see it.
INFJs don't self-identify with the word nostalgia. That's true. They will explicitly say, I'm not very nostalgic. They self-identify as such. But, what about as a subperceptual microdose? It stimulates neurogenesis, so extra good for maintaining brain health. Near end of life states feelings mortality, so that might be really helpful. I mean, I can run the idea by him. I can guarantee you he's not going to think much of it. But I could probably get mushrooms, you know. Well, Horseman was suggesting that my dad take mushrooms. It's good for his mental health as he gets into his older years. It might be.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not disputing that. Can you think of a more offensive and demeaning ad hominem debate than "you're too high to understand me"? It's extremely offensive and I mean demeaning. It's indicative of, you know, exactly what you say, attacking the person and refusing to deal with what they say. It's a way of avoiding argumentation.
Ad hominem, that's exactly what it is.
Especially because, you know, chances are the person saying that I'm too high to understand them or something is not being responsive at all to what I'm saying. Because it's the sort of thing that TI countervaluing or TI polar or whatever people say. You gotta just sort of, at some point with TI polar, kind of throw up your hands and just say, okay, look, here's the reality of it. And okay, Cloud, you're being too nasty, dude. I don't even see anything nasty from lawnmower.
Oh, I think think it was just a regular bug. Yeah, it was.
Brittany says pain is subjective. That's true. It's not ridiculous to write, but it's caused me to trip up at several points in life. What has? For me, if I'm having moments of feelings, I will know what it is and why, but just having feelings isn't sufficient reason to make changes, even if the changes only affect me.
So, I had feelings yesterday, and I felt sleepy this morning, but those were just the feelings. Like, yesterday I was having feelings because I was in a chat with my mom and my sister, and I don't like to Zoom. It's not fun for me if I have to do it. I don't know why. It just feels like a chore when it's like, kind of like,
Keep that in mind, Horseman. I appreciate it. Alright, when you contradict an ESFP, you just make them more persistent. I found that to be true in general as well. Yisrael Mahel, Rachel understands your type pretty darn well. Thank you.
I do, and I have watched his videos. Thank you very much.
You should also remember that she's host Eric's girlfriend.
Yeah, I do.
You can't be more well positioned to understand yourself via cognitive functions than that.
I do feel very lucky, and I know that he's on my side, and that's like the first time ever. Are you kidding me? It's so nice. That's why, like, the conversations when I do have with my family go the way that they do. Because, like, I know that I have someone on my side. And then he, like, helps me, too, because he tells me things that I can tell them that are the truth and set boundaries that I wouldn't know how to do for myself. So it really helps me.
Well, I mean, you should... If he wants to make peace, you should make clear to him that what he engaged in was an ontological assault. He said, you are inadequate as a human being to communicate honestly with. And that, as a consequence, a person needs to apologize, you know? What's everyone's least favorite form of communication? Question for Eric as well. Interpretive dance. Can't stand it.
Another language spoken fast in my face.
The sixth slot FI kind of burrows and then bubbles up out of nowhere. It can be critical and creates quite a bit of emotional chaos or distress for an INFJ. Sometimes it can linger longer than wanted. However, I'll say if you don't give an INFJ good reason to have FI issues, I agree they'll suppress FI stuff given if there's a need to. But in other words, they'll FE tool function their way through things to the extent that it gets them what they're trying to get to. So, in other words, they are prone to pushing down their own FI concerns for a while, but absolutely they'll bubble up. However, if they don't have real FI concerns that are being ignored or pushed down, in other words, if stuff is either dealt with right away and or there's not really any cause for FI concerns, then that's not the case that they're periodically chaos inducing. Like, I haven't found that quality in Rachel. Rachel and I are very FE with each other, you know? As soon as Rachel, if I ask a question, do you and she just pauses in her response, I shouldn't have to say, no, I know that means no.
LOL.
It's like there's just a pause, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, well, I think probably Longore's right about Yitzhak.
What about it? Him?
You dislike verbal communication in a group of three or more. I too, Bacon, am in the same thing. That tends to go along with being an action deliberation type. We like to be in conversations where we're only talking one person at a time. The exception is this, and the reason is because you guys are all talking in text, and I can pick the one I want to I want to, yeah. What Simone fought in battle with me in the Viking era in an earlier life. She has mastered her Martian energy. Oh, cool.
That is cool. 100% from Lawnmower. How old are you? What
He
are?
says he's 19.
Oh, you're 19. You know what's have you ever seen the little Jewish boy skit on SNL? It's really funny, and it's done by like a Jewish girl. It's so funny. She was like this. She starts reading, and like a Jewish voice. It's really funny. I wish I knew the name of the skit. But
Just
Vanessa,
to be abundantly fair, I removed that, Cloud. I removed that comment to be abundantly fair. I find TE users can be very smart, no less intelligent than any other type. You know, my dad, he's a TE Dom, SITESI, he has a doctorate in philosophy. You am a fool? Okay, you can call me a fool. That's fine. I'm just trying to be extra fair to Cloud. What type does Cloud profess to be again? I think he's saying right now that he's ENFP. Yeah.
nice keeping track, Octavio Silva. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I agree that I think we're all still burdened by the reality of the COVID nonsense in negative ways. One of the tricky things about it is how there's the FE considerations make it impossible for you to even like identify the people who are like you or like-minded, right? So you have to err on the side of caution all the time.
Anytime that PP arches up like that, when she arches like a kitty, it makes me think of like a witch kitty. 'Cause they always do that move.
Well, Claude, the thing is, I was convinced you were playing the part of an ESFP at least, right? I never thought you were acting like an ENTP. I thought you might be an ENTP intentionally acting like an ESFP. Because, you're kind of a caricature. But it's been so consistent since day one, to this day, that it's obviously who you are. It's not an act. You're not acting like this. This is who you are. You are an ESFP.
Oh, that moon's bright. I wonder if it's full. Does anyone know if it's a full moon tonight?
I can use my moon smell-o-vision. Moon smell a Geiger count. Smells about 98% full.
So does that consider it full?
I think maybe tomorrow night is full.
Tomorrow night?
Smells like maybe tomorrow night's gonna be full.
I'm ready for it. Yo.
Who else can smell the fullness of the moon?
I appreciate it.
Anybody else share this magical talent with me?
2 days? Oh my god, I have to wait like fucking 2 days. Are you fucking kidding me? September 2nd? Like, whatever.
Hey, Rachel, in 2 days our waterbending powers will be at their most strong.
Tomorrow night?
We can bloodbend.
Yes, bloodbend!
In 2 nights we can have a bloodbending party. We're gonna bloodbend each other while we have sexual intercourse. It's gonna be weird. It'll be really weird. I'll be controlling her body, she'll be controlling mine with bloodbending. You want ESF?
I really do
ESF
like to.
Rachel.
My blood type is 0, and will blood flow to each other?
My blood type is positive because I have a lot of positive energies. You can see it when you can just look at me. You can just see.
Denise's aura is all the colors of all the rainbows. seen double rainbows. Thanks, David Sanderson. I am. This night is not a full moon. It's a waxing gibbous, according to Octavio Silva. Thank you very
According to
much.
my nose. Remember that. I think I said 98%. I meant 94% about, I think.
I feel like my name is Bray. Like, I feel like that's, like, totally what my name would be, because I really care about the environment, and also, I really care about my body a lot.
Oliver Linehan. That's silly.
I got Oliver Linehan. Why? I'm happy for you. Yay. Congrats. I've been through that, actually.
I want to know, if the full moon is on September 2nd, and tonight is the night of the 31st, then what percentage full is it?
Yeah, it says, no, I think you're right with 98%.
No, because it's only 30 days, so there's 2 days to it. It's 1/15.
It's waxing gibbous.
1/15 less than 100. 1/15 is what?
1/15?
1 over 15 is what percent? It's like it's like 8%, something like that. So 7%, 7.5%. So it's like 93.5% full. Upton plays 40. I did not feel jealous. I felt afraid to offend her. I did not want her to feel threatened in me and Eric's territory, i.e. Eric's territory. In her territory. Are you talking about Rachel, or are you talking about my previous girlfriend? Chris the Realtor 615 Ebert. I love this story. When I was a kid, I thought my zodiac sign was Leo because my middle name is Leo.
That's so great. Chris the Realtor. That's great. When you found out it was something different, were you confused?
It's been like, I don't understand. Why isn't your astrological sign
yeah,
then? You know, to somebody else like
that would make sense. That would make sense, right? But yeah, I really wrong.
That's where the funny is. Upton plays 48. That's where the ha 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 is. Taylor's first wife was an ESFP. Didn't go well. Yeah, it was apparently quite a disaster. Oh, I see. Your actual sign was Gemini. You just assumed that because your middle name was Leo, your astrological sign must be Leo.
As a kid.
I see.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, I would be like surprised. I would be surprised, you know, if you go like thinking, like, yeah, I'm Leo. Like, oh fuck, Gemini. I have to learn all that different stuff.
One thing that is an SI thing for me
my heart.
is this scar on my right hand. So when I was like 9 months old, I burned my right hand. I don't know if you can see the scar or not, but it's scarred. It used to be webbed up to like here, but I got an operation when I was 18 when my hands stopped growing, basically, where they made it so I could open my hand more all the way. It used to be I could only open it like this much, you know. It was like melted together down here.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So the thing is, when I was little, the way I was able to tell right from left was very straightforward. I just always felt this hand to see if I could feel the scar. I know that was right. And if there was no scar, then I was left, you know. So that's how I figured out right and left.
Yeah. I would have to go L. And then I knew it was left.
That's a good way. I've never heard that before.
Thanks. Yeah, they taught that in school. This. I love you so
I love you so much. I think I'm about ready to bring this to a close. No, Taylor's TI user for sure. Alright, thanks for being here, everybody. I'll be getting more speed on Thursday, not on Wednesday. So, that's when a big burst of activity is going to happen. I'll see you tomorrow, I'm sure. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Bye.